What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of Fox Fantasy Insiders, brought to you by Gaming Generations. My name's Lucas.
And I'm Justin.
And we're your Fox Fantasy Insiders. Every week we're bringing you guys fantasy football content, whether that be DFS, Dynasty, or Redraft. And you may be thinking, didn't you guys just put out an episode? Well,
we did.
And here's another episode, and this is our Thanksgiving special. You know, obviously we have a short work week. The holidays are here, Justin.
Yep.
You're looking good with your buffalo plaid.
I like your buffalo plaid too.
It's cozy season. It's stick season, you know, and it's football season.
Yes.
We have a fun episode for you guys. We have what do we have planned for the viewers?
We got a Thanksgiving meal, of course, for them.
It's going to be a fun episode. Basically, we have a bunch of Thanksgiving foods, and we're categorizing that with fantasy football players. So I'll give one example, and then we'll just go through. But we'll start with the turkey. The main course is just a cornerstone player. So we're going to go through a bunch of Thanksgiving foods. Justin and I do not know what players we have chosen.
What other meals we have.
Yes, and we're going to go through this and just kind of, you know, spitball about Thanksgiving foods. We get to, you know, just eat this stuff in a couple days, so I'm really like, it's kind of a little tease, you know, for the holiday.
This is my favorite time of the year.
Thanksgiving is amazing.
I love it.
Football, family, friends.
Yes, and the drinks and just the good times and the vibes. You know, you got the windows cracked and the candles going.
Yeah,
and it's
cozy.
It's so cozy.
Buffalo plaid.
Yeah, you got the flannels rolling.
Yeah, so it's gonna be a good episode for you guys this week. But first, let's hear a word from our sponsor, Gaming Generations.
Check out Gaming Generations, where the gaming world comes to life. Embrace the gaming lifestyle with friends, new and old, and rediscover those classic games with their wide range of retro gaming options. From consoles to headsets and controllers, they have it all. You could trade in your games for cash or store credit and always get the best deals. Do you guys need a quick fix? Well, don't go picking up a used phone off the waivers this year. If your phone goes down this season, don't worry, Gaming Generation has got you covered. From phones, tablets, laptops, consoles, controllers, and more, their walk-in repairs will make sure that you are covered. At Gaming Generations, they always make it their priority to help their customers. Gaming Generations, where your gaming dreams come to life. Thank you, Gaming Generations, for sponsoring the show. We couldn't do it without you. And let's check into their November holiday sales. What do we got going on? Tomorrow, Wednesday the 27th, is 25% off all used consoles, which that's huge. If you guys are looking to, you know, go ahead and get the new, or I guess a PlayStation 4 or 5 or a Nintendo or an Xbox or Switch, something to add to your collection, tomorrow is the day to do it. 25% off.
That's a Black Friday deal, if you ask me.
And then, speaking of Black Friday, 25% off everything. All items, 25% off.
You just go in and have yourself a spending spree.
Yep, on the Black Friday. So go ahead and check out their amazing deals this week and, you know, get them before they're gone. So
I like the sound of that. So thank you, Gaming Generations, for sponsoring our show. We greatly do appreciate it, and we couldn't do this without you.
No.
Awesome. So let's get into the main course here.
The turkey, the main course.
Okay, so as we said at the top of the show, we're going to go through these Thanksgiving Day foods, and we're going to categorize them with fantasy football players.
And we'll explain what each one means for you guys.
Exactly. So let's just go down the list, I think. So we'll start with the turkey. This is the main course. So these are your cornerstone players, the stars you build your lineup around. They're reliable, they're juicy, and often the centerpiece of your fantasy plate. Yeah, delicious. And I'm actually curious if some of these players are the same for us. I'm just, because our minds kind of think alike.
Yeah.
You know, we're wearing the same clothes right now. This was obviously not planned. But okay, so the turkey. I'm going to go first.
Okay, go for it.
Saquon Barkley is my turkey player. He is in the MVP race. He just broke an insane rushing record.
255 yards.
He is just a beast. You know, he got traded or picked up by the Eagles.
Yep.
And has just been fire. Just
feasting.
Fire.
He himself has been feasting.
Yeah, give that man a turkey leg and let him enjoy that. But, I mean, I don't think I have to do much explaining.
No, everyone knows Saquon is the guy that you do build your team around. And it's funny, for Turkey, the main course, I did a category for quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, and tight ends.
Okay.
And Saquon Barkley is on my running backs list.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
we agree
sense.
there.
It makes sense.
What should I do? What do you want? Quarterback, receiver, tight end, running back?
I don't know. Just surprise us.
Okay, I'll go receiver. Jamar Chase.
Yeah. I mean, he's a stud.
That is someone I mean, the stats that he's been putting up the last probably 4 weeks, I mean, throughout the entire season, obviously, but especially the last 4 weeks, holy.
Yeah, he went. I mean, both these players, Saquon and Jamar, have had nuclear games where there's just a napalm strike on your opponents.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, you have them, you win your matchup.
That's what it is.
Yeah, it's very rare if they explode like this and then you lose.
Yeah, and it's funny, like when you're looking at your rankings in fantasy, the top 3, or who's ever going to make playoffs, always seems to have Derrick Henry, Saquon, Jamar Chase, someone along those lines. Yeah. And it's just like, well, I could have seen this coming.
Right. Right. Exactly. So turkey's delicious. Next, we have the mashed potatoes, smooth and consistent. These are the dependable players who always deliver a steady helping of points. They don't need any flair. They're your weekly comfort food. So I love mashed potatoes.
I love them.
They're so good.
The best.
And I love this player that I have. I have David Montgomery.
You sucker.
Do you really?
When we talked about when we built this list out, the mashed potatoes portion, Dave Montgomery was the first person that came to my mind.
Okay, and I'm sure everyone would feel this way because this guy is not flashy, but he just pounds into defenses.
Yeah.
They explained David Montgomery, running back for the Lions, a guy that goes in and tenderizes the meat.
Yeah.
He just beats up the defense, and then they put in Jahmyr Gibbs, and then he just torches them. So this is a guy that's also reliable every single week.
Every week.
When he's healthy, you just throw him in there, and he's guaranteed almost a touchdown every game.
Yeah, and for those of you who rip parlays like myself, Dave Montgomery's in my lineup.
Always.
You got to hit the touchdown over.
Yeah, it's just, I feel like it's so evenly split too, but both these running backs on the Lions are so valuable.
Dave Montgomery is the first person I thought of immediately when I had this.
It fits that description so perfectly.
Yep, I agree.
Yes, awesome. Well, should we go to the stuffing then?
Yeah.
Or did you have another mashed potato player?
I do have a couple more.
Yeah.
Kenny Walker.
Yeah, it's consistent, not super flashy.
No, I mean, there's games where he's had 3 touchdowns a game. I mean, that's pretty flashy, but going off the season and week to week, I mean, he's just consistently giving you 10 points or more. So honorable mention, Kenny Walker.
I like that. Next, we're going to go to the stuffing. Justin, are you a stuffing guy?
Love stuffing.
Stuffing's good.
Dude,
stuffing
so
is
good.
Delicious. These players are surprisingly filling, okay? So the players you didn't expect to be so satisfying but have turned out to be essential. You know, this could be a mid-round draft pick or a waiver wire steal that completes your team. Justin, who's your stuffing player?
You know, I have 4 here, but I really just want to focus on one, and that's Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah. When healthy, he's been great, and he's kind of a steal.
He is
you got
so
him
good.
Late in the draft.
Yeah, I mean, this was probably one of the last 2 picks I had. I'm going to take my chances on the rookie. And keep in mind, this is the league I had Tyreek Hill as my wide receiver 1, who's just been sucking.
Yeah.
And Brian Thomas has been able to step up into that role, and it's just, I didn't expect it, that. To me, that's surprising. So he's my stuffing player of Thanksgiving is Brian Thomas Jr.
I see the fit there. I'm going with the wide receiver as well, Justin. I'm going with the Bronco. I'm going with Courtland Sutton, just because this guy, beginning of the season in your fantasy drafts, I'm not drafting a Bronco player. Rookie quarterback, don't trust it, which is usually pretty accurate.
Yeah, right.
You don't trust that. This is a rookie quarterback. But Bo Nix and Courtland Sutton, we were talking about it before the show, have this rapport, and that's his favorite target. This
Yeah.
guy's averaging like 9 targets a game.
Looking good.
And Cortland Sutton is one of the kings of getting the jump balls. Bo Nix will just toss it up. Cortland Sutton, so big,
Yeah, he comes
strong,
down with it.
and will just come down with that.
Yeah.
So
Put him in your parlays.
put him in your parlays, as Justin is doing. Cortland Sutton is my stuffing player. And next, we're going to go with gravy, okay? So this just makes everything better,
Yep.
okay? These are the players that boost the value of others around them. They're the quarterbacks or team leaders that elevate the entire offense. And I'm curious to see if we have the same player here.
Sure, I don't know. I'm guessing we do.
Did you go with a quarterback?
Yeah.
I did too, and I'm going with Lamar Jackson.
Ah!
Did you really?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I did Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, yeah.
And
I mean,
it's just probably the same reason.
this one was easy. It was just like distributing points to running backs and wide receivers, and they have a little bit of rushing upside.
Yeah.
So I think we don't need to explain too much about Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I mean, that's just, like you said, like that's the quarterback is the most valuable position, and without them, nobody on the team would be anything really.
Right.
So they just make everyone better. So
All right, let's go down to the cranberry sauce.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't normally have cranberry sauce at my Thanksgiving. Do you?
no,
So
sometimes it depends. Out of the can, hell no.
yeah, I'm not a big fan of it, but I'll have like cranberry pie and cranberry desserts. Just kind of depends, but that it fits this category. So the cranberry sauce is known to be a hit or miss. So some weeks these players are perfect complement, but other weeks you're left wondering why they're even on your plate or on your roster.
Yeah. I mean, pull up the meme. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough. So I'm going with Anthony Richardson, which is a guy that can be just explosive.
Yeah,
just
right.
28 points. It's like, oh yeah, I really like cranberry sauce. And then he could have like 4 points, and then you're
Oh.
like, get these cranberry sauces off my plate.
I know.
So, I mean, this is kind of a boom bust category.
for sure. Yep.
And I think Anthony Richardson has the potential of being really great for fantasy football
I mean,
on a
literally-
weekly basis.
Yeah, right.
But obviously with the whole benching thing, the guy's so young.
He's been looking better since he came back.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm rooting for him. I want to like cranberry sauce,
Yeah.
but not every week I do. So, who's your cranberry player?
Jordan Addison.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Last week he was good.
Balled out.
Yeah.
I mean, like you want to talk about a player that's literally week on, week off. That's Jordan Addison.
Yeah.
I mean, last week he had over 100 yards, had a touchdown, had 30 points.
Yeah.
And then a couple weeks before,
Irrelevant.
5, 6,
yeah,
8. I mean, it's just
not irrelevant. I don't know
No.
what last week was about because Justin Jefferson was on the other side of that coin.
yeah, he got locked up or
Yeah.
something. I mean, but it don't matter. Like our offense got fed, but Jordan Addison to me is this cranberry sauce. He's the hit or miss player. He will ball out for 20 plus points, or else he'll be stinking your
Yeah.
team up with the 5 points. So
Yeah. Awesome. We got 4 more categories for you guys. Next up is green bean casserole, which side comment, I love green
I
bean
do
casserole.
too. I love green bean
I
casserole.
love any casserole, but those French fried onions that go
Ooh,
on green
nice
bean
and
casserole,
crispy.
making my mouth water a little bit right now. But the green bean casserole is basically your underrated, but always in the mix.
Yeah.
Okay, so not the flashiest, but they show up consistently and often outperform expectations. These players make a solid contribution each week. And I'm going with an Atlanta Falcon. I'm going with Darnell Mooney here. So this is a guy that you can plug into your wide receiver 2 or flex spot, and he's pretty consistent on targets. I know he got injured, before their bye week, and last week was their bye. But look at his stats before the season. He's been putting up some numbers.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of that is Kirk
He looks
Cousins
good.
evenly distributing the ball to not only Darnell Mooney, but Drake London. Kyle Pitts is getting some points. But I think Darnell Mooney is a good green bean casserole player, Not the flashiest, but he's been performing consistently
Right.
throughout the season.
He's a good mix.
Yeah.
Oh man, My green bean casserole, and some of you probably won't think that this player is, he might be. The name is there, but Rachaad White.
Yeah.
He is the RB1 in this offense, but the way Bucky Irving has came in.
It's almost like Bucky Irving is the flashiest, and then like Rachaad White's like, hey, I'm just here to do the dirty work.
Yeah, Rachaad White's, that's the thing, like when it pairs so well with this green bean casserole description, it's just, shows up consistently and often outperforms expectations.
Yeah.
He's always in my flex 2 spot, and I'm thinking, can we get 10 points? And he often exceeds that. So those are my expectations with Rachaad White.
Yeah, I see it. Up next, we have the dinner rolls, Justin. Solid bench players. They're reliable, but often overlooked until you actually need them. They don't stand out, but can save the day when injuries or bye weeks, come by. And I'm going with Michael Pittman.
Oh.
This is a guy that I don't like to start, and I prefer not to.
Yeah.
But when there's a bye week or if there's an injury, this guy is the wide receiver 1 on the team, I think. Maybe. And it's kind of hit or miss, but it's sketchy. But, he does have the potential to have big games.
Yeah. I mean, having Michael Pittman coming off the bench.
It's stressful.
But, it's not, you're kind of happy that you have him.
Yeah. No, exactly.
In that position. You're on bye, you have your starters. Michael Pittman at this point is just a bench player.
Yeah.
He's wide receiver 1. He's you can't be that mad at it.
Well, the Anthony Richardson, him being the starter kind of downgrades Michael Pittman, or as some may think, Joe Flacco was the better quarterback for the receiving game.
Sure.
But I think Anthony Richardson, as games go by, he's starting to get rapport down. I mean, he's starting to do a little something. He had a good week last week. So, we'll see.
Right.
Who's your dinner roll?
Going on the opposite side of that field, Josh Downs.
Really? We both have Colts players?
Yeah.
Well, I think why we chose that without each other knowing is the quarterback situation. That goes a lot into the conversation of Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, hit
or miss.
I just think Josh Downs, you can look at his numbers. He has been performing better than Michael Pittman.
Yeah.
And it's just, if I had to choose a player to come off the bench, I'm more than happy starting, Josh Downs just off of what he's been doing.
If for some reason I have both these players on my bench, I'm picking Josh Downs. So I think that's the better option. He's more electric, at least right now, but
seems to be more involved, which is
confusing.
weird.
Yeah. Absolutely. All right, up next, we're getting into some desserts here. Yeah, the pumpkin pie. Side fact, I'm not a big pumpkin pie guy, and I know I'll get stoned for that. People throw rocks at me and whatnot, but I'm more an apple pie kind of guy.
It's so hard to beat apple pie.
Yeah.
I love pumpkin pie.
Yeah.
You just got
whipped cream on there.
Lather up that whipped cream.
Yeah, it's pretty good. We'll see.
He don't like it. He lied to y'all. He don't like it.
It's not my favorite. But the pumpkin pie are your seasonal stars, Justin. These are the players who show up big for weeks during the season. Just like pumpkin pie, they're perfect for the holidays, but they don't last all year. I want to hear what your pumpkin pie player is. This is kind of the explanation explained it, but
I have 3 that I wrote down that all fit the description of this. And you know what? It's Thanksgiving. I'm just going to name them off.
Okay.
Mike Evans.
Yeah.
DK Metcalf.
Yeah.
And Ramondre Stevenson.
Okay. That last one caught me off guard. The two I understand. Mike Evans and DK, they're the wide receiver 1s of their offense. They're big playmakers.
Yeah, but
where did you come up with Ramondre Stevenson?
Because I was looking at his numbers. And
doing some deep dive as us insiders.
do. Yeah. And the whole description of pumpkin pie players are players who show up for a few weeks during the season and kind of disappear after. Well, go look at Ramondre Stevenson's numbers. It seems like he'll have a 3-week stretch of big 20-point games, and then a lull of 4 weeks, and then kick it back up into 2 weeks, and then 4 or 3, and then 3 weeks. So that's
true.
Ramondre Stevenson is a pumpkin pie player. He'll show up for a couple weeks, And then, the next four weeks, you might not see him again.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I get that. I mean, when they boom hard.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with DK and Mike Evans, too,
Right.
But
right.
Madres.
That makes sense. It just like caught me off guard a little bit, which I like. I like the takes.
Yeah.
Okay, so my pumpkin pie player is going to be a running back for the New Orleans Saints. It's Alvin Kamara.
Ooh, I like that.
He's got that name value.
Yep.
He's got these remarkable games of him scoring multi-touchdowns.
Yeah, balling.
But there are also times where he has had stinker weeks. It's
Yeah.
not always, butterflies and rainbows with Alvin Kamara. It usually is a pretty steady floor. But as pumpkin pie, as the explanation talks about, these are few weeks that are pretty decent. These aren't bad players.
No.
Alvin Kamara is not a bad player.
No.
He's in your starting lineup. I'm just categorizing with pumpkin pie because he can be that big explosive, player on your roster.
Right. Yeah, most of the time Taysom Hill takes every snap.
Yeah, apparently. So that kind of sucks.
Yep.
And our last category here is a bad one, Justin.
Yeah, it is.
It's the burnt dish, the busts. So you had high hopes for them, but they let you down. Now they're sitting on your bench, or worse, you dropped them. Now, I'll go first here. And this isn't a player I can drop. No one's dropping this player. And honestly, it's a position that's kind of hard to start because there's so little studs in this category. It's the tight end position.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going with Sam Laporta because a lot of leagues drafted Sam Laporta as the first tight end in their fantasy football draft. Look at his numbers.
Yeah.
You are not getting second round.
Hell no.
Yeah, you're just not getting the numbers you expected from Sam Laporta.
It's your tight end one.
Yeah, he's a good player. You're not dropping him. And in fact, you're plugging him in your lineup every single week, as I do.
Yeah.
Some days he might get lucky, get a touchdown. But there are so many mouths to feed. On Thanksgiving Day, the Lions will be playing. He might get a touchdown, or he might get 3 targets, and Jameson Williams will take 3 of those touchdowns.
I'm calling it right now. Sam Laporta is getting a touchdown Thanksgiving Day game.
Against the Bears.
Against the Bears.
I can see that.
I'm calling it. I'm good for when I call the touchdowns for a tight end.
That's right. I hope you're right because I am starting him.
I am too. You know what? I'll start him too.
It's a pretty big, this week right now. I mean, next week is week 14.
That's long.
And, week 13 is, comes before week 14. And then it's playoffs. So, I need this win.
Sam Laporta touchdown Thanksgiving Day.
Guaranteed here.
Guaranteed.
Fox Fantasy Insiders.
That's right.
All right. Who is your burnt dish?
Same reasons that you had him. You can't drop this player.
I thought you were going to say same Laporta.
No, not Sam Laporta. Same reasons.
Yeah.
You can't drop him. You drafted this player as a wide receiver 1. First round pick.
Oh, no, I know who this is. Can I guess it?
You can guess it.
Is it Tyreek Hill?
It's Tyreek Hill.
It is Tyreek Hill. This is going to be my player.
Ladies
I thought about
and gentlemen, it is Tyreek Hill. This man, I just want to say, this is the first year that I've had Tyreek Hill. Never again. I don't care. I'm not drafting Tyreek Hill ever again.
This could be the end. We don't know.
Yeah, it's just, you expect minimum 25-point games from him week in and week out. And what does he give you? 5 points.
But what's Jonnu Smith doing? Jonnu Smith is taking all those targets.
Jonnu Smith balling out. Hey, I'm not even mad at it because I have him too.
You have him everywhere.
And
both the leagues we're in, you have that guy.
Yes. And you know what? Tyreek Hill has just been the biggest disappointment for me this year because I drafted him 3rd overall. I'm thinking I'm winning my leagues. I got Tyreek Hill, and he just like, you know what? Psych.
Sometimes these big fantasy named players fall off that age cliff, and I don't even know if it's that, but ever since Tua got that injury, it's like
irrelevant. The dude's irrelevant.
Tua's brain was just like, nah, Tyreek Hill, just like that, just gone. Jonnu Smith though, he's got hard eyes, so it's a great pick.
Yeah, for the gamers out there, Tua's speed running, CTE.
Yeah.
Prayers, but yeah, just Tyreek is just. He's a burnt end.
Yeah,
He's just
it sucks. Well, not the good burnt ends, because I mean I love a good
burnt
end.
dish. Sorry, I love burnt ends.
Yeah,
but a
ends
burnt dish,
yeah,
Tyreek Hill. I mean, but hey, he's Tyreek Hill. I gotta play him. I have to start him.
That's right. Well, there's our Thanksgiving, meals, categorizing them with fantasy players. If you guys want to let us know what your categories would be, comment below on our Twitter page, or X, I should say, at FFinsiders2548. We post the shows over there. You can comment below and
tell us who your guys' courses are.
Right.
Is there anyone that we missed? Any hot takes out there? Come comment on it.
Absolutely. And we hope you guys have a thankful Thanksgiving. Justin and I are thankful for you guys, and we're thankful for fantasy football.
Oh, yeah.
Thankful that we get to do this as a job.
That's right.
It's pretty nice. And we're thankful for Gaming Generations.
So
be
thankful.
sure to get into that store, do some Black Friday shopping, shop for a loved one or yourself, and have a great Week 13
That's right.
of fantasy football. We'll see you next week for another great episode.